Now to part 3, active transport. Movement that requires energy. Remember, when you're active, you need energy to be active. All right, definition. The movement of substances across a membrane from an area of low concentration to an area of high. Remember, this is different from our other stuff. We used to go from areas of high concentration, lots of molecules dispersed out evenly to the end where it reaches equilibrium. This is now the other way. Okay, this is why it takes energy to do this. It's the opposite of passive transport. Requires a cell to use some energy. We know that cells' energy is in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So where does this energy come from? It comes from your food. Caloric intake. That's where it comes from. Your body releases energy by breaking down the food you eat. This occurs during a process called cellular respiration, which is our next unit. So it goes right into the next unit for you. Where in your cells does this occur? Well, in the mitochondria, which is why your definition of powerhouse of the cell is a horrible definition for the mitochondria. That is a very weak one. So what do active transport and facilitated diffusion have in common? Right? What are they similar? They both use proteins to help move substances across the membrane. What's the big difference? What do you think it is? Active requires energy. I swear, you cannot get that wrong. You can't. You're not allowed. Can't get it wrong. Active requires energy. So, why do we need to move these molecules? To maintain homeostasis. An example you will commonly hear is something called the sodium-potassium pump. Right, and you'll see over here, we've got sodium trying to get into the cell through an active channel. You notice that ATP is always around, adenosine triphosphate, for energy. Our body depends on this balance for nerve impulses. Muscle contractions are two of the big ones, and absorbing nutrients. When you get to me in anatomy, we will discuss this in more great detail upon how nerves need to use sodium and potassium. So you're wondering, you're like, do plants use active transport, Mr. Golka? Well, that's a wonderful question. Okay, outstanding. Yes, yes, they do. They need to keep nutrients from diffusing out of their roots in the soil. What kind of solution would this soil be? From last notes? Hypotonic. Low concentration of dissolved substances outside of the cell. Okay, so sometimes we need to get a bunch of material in and out of the cell at one time, like in bulk. Like when you go to Costco and you buy something in bulk, like Pirate Booty. I love Pirate Booty. Buy like 2 boxes of 40. That's bulk Pirate Booty. All right, definition. The movement of large molecules or large quantities of small molecules across a cell membrane at one time. So bunch of stuff in, bunch of stuff out. What kind of stuff? Polysaccharides, protein, waste products. Materials are packaged into vesicles that are moved across the membrane. So what kind of transport do you think this is? This is active. It takes energy to package them up. It takes energy to ship them out. So types of bulk transport. There are 2 types. 1, endocytosis, the movement into the cell. Endo, in. And then the opposite, there you go, it's coming in here like that. Pinocytosis is the movement of fluid into the cell. So pinocytosis is a type of endocytosis. Phagocytosis, food, grabbing food and bringing it in. So both of these are types of endocytosis, pino and phagocytosis. So if endocytosis was the movement into the cell, exocytosis, the movement out of the cell. Check it out. So now this stuff's leaving the cell. So let's compare them. All right, passive transport, diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and osmosis, okay? Active transport, you see this little star here? It always looks like this. So if this was blank and didn't have ATP written in it, this star always represents ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. Well, folks, you've accomplished all the notes. You should now be experts on the way stuff moves in and out of the cell and experts on the cell membrane in general. If you have any questions, let me know. See ya.